guys, what's up? I'm Leanne and I'm in the garden again. I want to talk about fall gardening. Super excited. First time having a fall garden. I want to talk about what I'm going to be growing and what from my summer garden is going to stay through the fall. Now, some things that you start in the spring take like 100+ days to come to maturity to where the fruit is ripe to pick. Those things that I have in my garden in particular are my loofah gourds and my pumpkins. Also, I planted a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, some seeds for more squash because my squash crop has just been completely decimated by the squash vine borers. The worst. My last ditch effort to zucchini, I have it covered in a net, which reminds me I need to finish that video out. I'm working like a long-term video for that to have it like from start to finish, see if it works. So that's why it's not up yet. Anyway, now what's in the garden that's going to stay are the loofah gourd, the butternut squash, acorn squash that I planted out by seed, and then my pumpkin plants are going to stay out. I've got pumpkins in the back and pumpkins out in the front. Hopefully those do well and give me a ton of produce. I'm super excited about that. The things that I'm going to be direct sowing in the garden are my root vegetables, minus my onions. Everything else, like the garlic, I want to plant garlic, definitely an elephant garlic, carrots, and radishes. That's my plan for root vegetables. I want to also plant some brassicas. I have some started in my seed trays. I've got kohlrabi, cabbage, I think I have Nero de Toscana cabbage, and I have Copenhagen. I have a couple different kinds. I'll show a clip of that here so that you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. This row closest to me is the Scarlet Kale. The row in the middle is Red Bull Brussels sprouts. And the furthest row is Lacinato Kale, also known as Dino Kale. And then over here we have broccoli in the one closest to me. Then purple Vienna kohlrabi, or yeah, it's purple. Purple Vienna kohlrabi, and then Copenhagen cabbage. Also, I have a tray of basil and some cilantro and spinach in another tray in the shed. So I just potted these 3 trays are what I'm hoping to sell at the farmer's market, and then the rest are going into my garden. I'll show you guys a quick clip of how much I have for my own garden. These are all for my fall garden. I have some nasturtiums too that I'm not sure if they're supposed to look that spindly, so I wasn't going to sell them at the farmer's market. But I do have some of those extra. Oh, this is the spinach. And they've got some spinach over here. This is full of brassicas. And then these over here are onions. So I have 2 different types of onions. Walla Walla onions from my friend Sandy Seeds, and this one is I think called Red Creole onion, something like that. It's like a small red onion. I don't know if it's supposed to be small, but it grew really small for me last year, or this past year season. Anyway, that's what I have. Lots of stuff going in the garden. And then I have a bunch of herbs started also. I'm hoping to sell some of those at the farmer's market, but I'm also going to be planting some myself. And other than that, oh, there's a toad right there. Like, what is rustling in the woodshed? Scared me. I always think like snake. There's a snake. The carrots I'm direct sowing, the radishes I'm direct sowing. I might try to sneak in another crop of sweet peas once it cools off. I just ordered more seeds from Sandy Seeds. I'll show you guys what I got from Sandy Seeds. Check her out. She's got a seed shop online at sandyseeds.com. I really like her seeds. They've had a really great germination rate for me, and she's just super cool. She's my friend, so you should get her seeds. I think that's all I'm planning on growing for the fall. Root veggies, onions, garlic, carrots, radishes, brassicas, sweet peas, lettuces, spinach, basil, cilantro. And I'm going to try to see how long I can keep my peppers alive and see if I can actually harvest anything that I can eat. Gosh dang it. Stupid bugs. And tomatoes, I'm going to try to hold those out a little bit longer too. A lot of them have been pulled up though. Okay, now for the actual like nitty gritty, what has to happen in order for that all to happen. Okay, If you want to be kept in the loop with all my garden adventures, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be notified whenever I upload something new. Okay, these just need to be filled up for my fall garden. That's like the biggest step in the prep. And other than that, I need to continue the mulching over here. I'm going to include this little gap here in the bed along the fence. This is where my greenhouse was last year, but I'm not going to be putting the greenhouse there again. Okay, garlic in this bed along the fence, and onions. Eventually it'll wrap all the way around there as I get the bricks available. My hope is to put 3 more in-ground beds, at least 2 more, just like this one, down that way. So I'll probably start up against the fence, or at least closer to the fence that way, because if I've got the pumpkins over here, I'm not going to really be able to put the one right here that I want to, because the pumpkins are right there. But I plan on having like a couple of rows this way, and that's a prep that I'm doing this fall for next year's spring season. I want to plant my carrots in nice loose soil. Same with my radishes. Anything that you have that you're going to be pulling up out of the dirt, like the roots, that's the part you're going to be eating. You want the soil to be especially loose so that you don't break it when you pull it out of the ground. And so it's easier for the plant to grow down into the ground, and you get like a nice, bigger, more beautiful, more delicious food. So I think what I am going to do, I'm going to grow carrots where I have the irrigation, okay? When you're growing carrots, it's especially important that you keep the soil wet because they're really hard to get to germinate. So I want to make sure that where I'm sowing my carrot seeds, it's going to be an irrigated raised bed. Now, the ones that I have the most space are the further ones over here. I'll walk you over there. So this one, and that one over there. That's where I'm going to be planting my carrots out. Because these beds are irrigated, it'll be easier to keep them wet and hopefully get germinated very well. And then I have that far bed behind that zinnia plant and this bed that I can plant things in. Everything else, I think what's growing in them will still be growing through most of the fall, but I'm not going to want to pull them out to plant anything for the fall. Once I get these filled up, these are going to be where I put my brassicas, okay? So I'm kind of forming my plan as I'm talking to you guys. I've like edited, deleted, and retaken a bunch of videos because I'm thinking through this as I do this video. This is like kind of helping me wrap my mind around how I want to do this. I'll do my brassicas in here, mixed with some herbs for like some pest control. So I've never had a fall garden before. I have no idea what the pest pressure is going to be like, but I want to prepare. So one of the best things you can do to prepare for pest pressure is companion planting. And basically what that does is it tricks the insects. It basically camouflages the plants that they want to eat if you mix in other plants that don't look like plants they want to eat. So basil and cilantro are going to be interplanted with a lot of my other things. I'm going to grow like broccoli, kohlrabi, spinach, cabbage, basil, cilantro, probably 1 or 2 of each of those things in one bed. And I'm going to have these 3 beds dedicated to that. Once the pumpkins are done, I'm probably going to try to plant some more like carrots and stuff over there too, since this bed back here is also irrigated. And along this fence, I want to grow my onions and my garlic. I'm going to be extending this little gap right here. That's where I have my greenhouse this year. I'm not going to put it there again, but I'm going to extend that out, fill it up with dirt, and have this entire L, or not, I guess it's not a whole L, it's just like a line across the stretch of the fence. Garlic. All garlic. Another plant that's going to be staying throughout the fall are my pumpkins over here. So this used to be my zucchini patch. Now it's got like 5 or 6 pumpkin plants growing in it, and I'm hoping that that does well for me. I might be kicking myself later because the pumpkin patch in the other side of the garden is so full. These are berry plants, so these are going to be staying here forever. Actually, I think I have some to pick. Let's see. Look at that. I'm going to leave those for Jack to get. Jack loves to pick the raspberries. It's his favorite thing. Makes me so happy. Okay. I've also planted a lot of flowers and some more squash seeds. I can't remember if I've said that already, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But I've sprinkled flower seeds kind of everywhere, and hopefully I'll get some more flowers from that. I think that's about all I can wrap my mind around right now with my fall garden plan. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me in this video and watching me ramble about my fall garden and my gardening obsessions. If you need a friend to learn how to garden with, I'm your girl. Happy gardening.